we're not going to have much of a class today because we're going to go over the test. I like classes like this. Don't ask questions. We just get to the test and get going. All right, so 1 minus the probability. I can't write with a mouse, so y'all just, there. 1 minus the probability squared. No, I'm sorry, not squared. To the n power. To the n power. Now the n power here, the n is going to be equal to the number of flips. I mean the number of coins, sorry. Number of coins. So look at the question and see what they say. They say how many coins? 8 coins. So 8 goes right there. Of course, you don't have to think too much with a coin because how many sides are there?
2.
2. So it's going to be 1 minus 1/2 or 0.5, whichever one you want to use. I really don't care. To the what power?
The 8th
power. And somebody crank that out. They want you to use a what? They want you to use a fraction. Now, why do they want you to use a fraction? Because if you use a fraction, you can do it in your head. You don't have to rely on the calculator. And if you can't raise 2 to the 8th power, you shouldn't be in this class. Okay, so we'll just leave it at that. All right, so 1 minus, what's 1 to the 8th power? I'll do that in my head. 1. And 2 to the 8th power, well, remember, 2 to the 5th power is what? 32. 2 to the 6th power is what?
64.
64. 2 to the 7th power would be 128. And 2 to the 8th power would be what? 256. Somebody check me. What's 2 to the 8th power? Look in your calculator.
256.
Okay, it's a miracle. Now, I can't do this because I got to have a common denominator. Well, anybody can change 1 into 256 over 256. And again, if you don't know why I did that, then that's your basic math and your pre-algebra. Common denominator, minus 1 over 256. And that's going to be what? 255 over 256, which will probably reduce down to 63 over 64, but somebody check it.
That's 255. Yeah. What the answer is that?
Somebody take 63 divided by 64. What do you get?
250.
63 divided by 64. What do you get?
0.9843.
0.984.
Okay, now take 255 divided by 256. See if you get the same thing.
0.99609.
0.99.
Let's see what the answer is. I say 255, but I don't know if 255 over 256 is reducible because 255 is odd, so it's going to be, let's see, 255 over 256. It's probably reducible. No, that's right. I thought that was the right answer that was up there. That's why I told you to put it in. Since it wasn't the right, since it was different, I figured one of them was wrong, one of them was right. So that's the right answer. Okay, so try this one. Try that one. So that'd be 2 questions you got in your calculator.
You can get on a coin. You can either get one head or one tail. So your chance of getting a tail is 0.5.
Use at least one rule to find the probabilities of the following events. Getting at least one tail when crossing 5 fair coins. Well, you know the probability of a coin is 1/2. So, because there's only two sides. 1 minus brackets 1/2 to the what power?
Fifth.
To the 5th power. I told you what 2 to the 5th was. That's 32. So 1 minus 1 over 32. Y'all finish it. Because I can't write with that mouse. It's about to drive me crazy. 32 over 32 minus 1 over 32. 31 over 32. What'd you say?
I said I sent you another question too.
Okay. 31 over 32. There you go. All right, got another question sent. (7C/6). 7C, number 15 in the book, number 6 online. You are given 3 to 2 odds against tossing 3 heads with 3 coins. You will win $3 if you succeed and lose $2 if you fail. That's what the 3 to 2 odds mean. Find the expected value. Okay, remember I told you what expected value meant. Let's look at an example. So there it is. That's when the life insurance policy. This is like a life insurance policy. So write that down. There it is. Expected value, the event value times the probability of the event, plus the event value times the probability of the second event. All right, now let me ask you a question. What's the probability of heads? Probability of heads is 1/2, but you're going to have to do the sample space for what? 3 coins. Remember the 3 babies? Boy, 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 girl, boy, 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 girl. You know, you have to do each one of them. Remember I told you need to write it down. Well, they're going to show it to you in a minute. You need to write this one down too. I don't care what this one's saying. I'm talking about this one. So where is it? They're not going to show you. I was hoping they'd show you, but they're not. Okay. So we'll just do it. Yeah, the 3 and the 2. So let's just look at this one. You are given 7 to 5 odds. That's 7 over 5. Okay? Meaning you win $7, and that's, you don't need that. Okay? Find the expected value of the term you would expect to lose money in one game or in 100 games. All right? So the probability of tossing 3 heads is 1 out of 8. Now, how do I get that? Well, like I showed you, you got to do the sample space. The sample space to this problem is just like the 3 kids. Boy, 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 and girl, girl, girl. Let's see. Boy, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, boy. Whenever it's on the left side of the room, that's when it messes up. I meant left side of the board. It only does that on the left side of the board. I haven't figured that much out. Girl, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, and there's one more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one more. What'd I leave out? Let's see, boy, 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 girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, boy. Okay, that's replacing 1, the 3rd, the 2nd, and the 1st. Girl, girl, boy, girl,
Boy, girl, girl.
Thank
But
you.
you have that up there at the top, so do you put it twice?
Boy, girl, girl. I don't have a boy, girl, girl.
Oh.
Boy, girl, girl. There we go. There's 8 of them. All right, the same thing with this. 3 coins. In this case, what does this one say? 3 heads of 3 coins. So you go through and do it. So let's do that. Let's see. Heads, heads, heads. Tails, tails, tails. Everybody with me? You do it just like this. So I'm going to replace the third one. So that's H, H, tails. Second one, H, T, H. And the third one would be T, H, H. And then T, T, H. That's why you need to write these down whenever you do the homework problem and put them on a card so you don't have to do this. And then T, H, T. And then T, H, H. I got T, H, H. H, T, T. Thank you. So there's 8 of those. So how many do you get 3 heads? 1 out of how many? 8. So that's how they get the 1/8. There's 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now before you take this test, make sure you got these 2 things written down. And what other one? We'll do 2. Over here, I'll do 2 for you. Let's see. Boy, 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 girl, girl, boy, girl, girl. That's if you have 2 kids. You need to write that down. And then what would be the tails? Tails, 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 head, head, tails, head, head. Now I would take an index card and before the test, I'd make sure I had those 4 down. Okay? So, if 1 out of 8 is all heads, then how many are not heads?
7.
7 out of 8. And that's how they get that. So there's your 2 probabilities. There's your 2 probabilities. What do you mean 2, Hubert? Well, remember, how many you need? Go up. How many you need?
2.
You need this one. And you need what? That one. So you got your 2 probabilities. Now you got to find your event. Well, we already talked about that, but we'll go down and rehash it. This is not a question I would pick to put on a test. Both of these questions are good homework questions, but I don't like them as far as test questions. But okay, I guess the board is just not going to work with me today. Okay, there's our 2 probabilities. Now, look at here. Let me erase all this. You already got what's going to happen right here. Let me go with green here. Right here and right there. 7 to 5 odds. That means you win what? $7 and you fail with what? $5. So amount you win is going to be $7. So that's 7 times what's the probability of winning? 1/8. Okay. The amount you lose, $5. And what? Probability of losing what? 7/8. Now take 5, multiply by 7/8, and add it to 7 times 1/8. So that's going to be 7/8 plus what? Well, no, it's not. It's going to be, I don't know what I'm thinking. Hold on. I was multiplying. Sorry. Is that multiplying? Yeah. Sorry. 7/8 plus 35/8. Y'all got a question?
Yeah, on the amount you lose, wouldn't that be -5?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, because you lose. Sorry. Okay, that would be a negative. Okay, so what's 7 minus 35? Negative 28?
Yeah.
So that's negative 28 over 8. And what does negative 28, what does negative mean, like you just said? What does negative mean in gambling?
You're losing.
Meaning you're losing. So, and what's 8 into 28?
3.5.
Okay, there's, yeah, right here. 3.5 negative. So that means you lose $3.50. Okay? So the main thing I would say you get out of this one is make sure you write those on cards. We'll keep going. And then you would multiply that by 1 game or 100 games or whatever. I don't know what they say here. Hold on. What do they say? Blah, blah, blah. In game 1, you would lose. Let's see, you would expect neither to win or lose because it's just 1 game. But after you play 100 games, if you play 100 games, then you would expect to lose because it's negative. So the only way you're going to get this, and why is it negative? Because the probability comes out to be very what? Low. Okay? So as I told y'all before, when you go to Vegas, are they in the welfare business?
No.
No. So is their probability going to be very high or low? Very low.
Low.
So you're expected to what when you go to Vegas?
Win big.
Lose.
Well, yeah.
You're expected to lose. Now, every once in a while, somebody gets lucky or the coincidences, whatever the case may be, and it just basically, that defies the odds. But just like if you was to bet on the NASCAR race, what is the biggest problem betting on a NASCAR race, especially like the Daytona 500? There's a big what that happens usually in the middle of or to the end of the race. What happens? A huge wreck, and nobody can ever bank on that. Same thing with a horse race. You might have 1 fall down, then 5 may fall down. Well, as soon as that 1 falls down and 5 falls down, the odds switch. Okay? So you don't know what's going to happen. All right, do this one. 3-2 odds. Find the expected value. What is it? Tossing 3 heads. Okay, same problem. So it's going to be 1/8 times 3. Somebody put 1/8 times 3 plus or minus 2 times 7/8. And tell me what you come up with, a positive or a negative. So same thing. So it's a minus, what was it? What did it come out to be? 1.375. 1.375, probably not rounding right. Round to the nearest hundred, so that'd be 1.38. Does everybody get 1.38? Yep. And what does that mean? That means that you're going to lose. So I would expect to lose D. And you feel good about yourself? Okay, did I not read it right? I would expect to lose because the value is what? Oh, because 1 game, you can't do anything in 1 game. I'm sorry. You're not expected to win, that's for sure. Now, 100 games, you would expect to what? Lose because the value is negative. Is it a tricky question? Yes. That's why I don't put it on test. I don't put tricky questions on test. So it's a good homework question, but I wouldn't put it on test unless it puts it on test. Sometimes they algorithmically generate. All right? All right. So let's look at, that takes care of those questions. Let me go ahead and erase those. All right. So let's look at the test. y'all can get started on it. Well, let's go to my courses. And let's just pull up that one. And pull up the test. Oh, assignment. Sorry, I'm not used to it. Assignment. Test. There it is. Unit 2 test. 90 minutes, 3 attempts, and it ends on the 4th. Start test. If you take several forms of a test, he takes the highest grade. Let's see what we make on this one, even if we don't know how to do math. Okay, suppose that an urn contains 2 white marbles, 7 green marbles, and 11 yellow marbles. If one marble is selected, determine the probability that it is what? White.
2 out of 20.
Be 2 out of what? It's a miracle. 2 out of 20, which is 1 out of what? 1 out of 10.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
At the beginning of class, I thought you said the test was due on Wednesday. The homework.
It might be. I can't. Just whatever that date is. It's usually due 1 week after I do it. The homework is due this Wednesday.
Okay. I was confused. Sorry.
That's all right. When you are confused, that's what you're supposed to do, Miss Riddle. You're supposed to ask a question. This class doesn't believe in asking questions. So I ain't figured it out yet. Like I said, it's either y'all are very smart or y'all just don't want to ask questions. But that's going to change probably. All right, choosing 6 numbers that match 6 randomly selected balls when the balls are numbered 1 through what?
33.
Now, this is one of those questions because this book sucks. Does it say that you bought a ticket?
No.
Does it say that you are, winning? No. But then it says type as a what?
Fraction.
A fraction. So they're telling you that you bought a ticket, but they don't tell you in the directions. This is the question right here that I don't like because it confuses the student. So we're going to write it like it's winning because it says a fraction. So we're going to put it over 1. So somebody do, I'll write it for you. It'll be 1 over what? 33. Combination what?
6.
6. And I'll put 1 because it says type as a fraction. So that's 1 divided by what? 33 combination 6. What do y'all get? 1 1 what?
0 7.
0 7
5.
5 5 6 8. Is that what you got? 1,107,568. Now mark number 3 because we're going to check it to see if it marks it wrong. Because that is not a good question. It's a good question as far as the combination, but it's not a good question because it's very vague. They're basically saying what are the probability of winning, but it's not saying that. It says the probability. So I disagree with that question. But we're going to go back and check it to make sure that I got it right, unless y'all gave me the wrong number. An experiment consists of 1 card drawn from a 52-card deck. What is the probability of drawing a red card? 26 out of what?
Out of 52.
52.
52, which is
5.
Hmm?
1 half.
1/2. Now, what does the direction say? Type as a what? So if you type in 0.5, you may get it wrong. And if the directions tell you to type in a fraction and you type in 0.45, I will not be lenient. You got to follow directions. When is the week of finals?
Me.
The only one that makes sense. Does you replace your lowest grade with your final exam? No.
Nope.
A DJ is preparing a playlist of 21 songs. How many different ways can the DJ arrange the first 5 songs in the playlist?
21 combination 5.
21 combination 5. It does not say any order. It just says 5 songs. Now they're trying to throw you off by putting the first. Well, that doesn't mean in order. You don't. It just says first 5 songs. So just take that first out. What is it?
20,340.
40 what?
9.
No. Check it. Somebody second that, please.
2, 3, 4.
21
right.
combination 5. What'd y'all get? Okay, nobody has a calculator.
I got that same answer.
Thank you. Determine whether the following individual events are independent or dependent. What is independent?
They will stand on their own.
No, that you replace the one you pick. If you pick a card, what do you do with the card? Put it back in the deck. It does with replacement. Write down independent with replacement. Without replacement, it's dependent. Then find the probability of the event. Drawing 3 queens in a row from a standard deck of cards when the drawn card is not what?
Return.
Put back in the deck.
All right, so that is what? Dependent, because you're not what?
Putting them back.
Returning it. And it's also meaning that you're going to have to subtract 1 from the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator. So how many queens are in a deck of cards? 4 out of 52. And let's say you pick 1. It says pick 3. You're checking to see what is the probability of picking 3 queens in a row. Now, somebody tell me how low, is that a low probability or a high probability? Very, very low. So if you bet $500 on this, you wouldn't have to work for a couple of years. We're going to see about that in just a minute. So what's the next one? 3 divided by 51.
And 2 divided by 50.
And 2 divided by what?
50.
Now let me ask you a question. What if I asked you what is the probability of picking 5 queens? What would you say?
0. Because
there's not 5 queens. The
Those are
0, the
good.
last queen, that would be 0 over what? 49 or what? 50? You can't, or 0 over 50 or 49, and you can't do it. That 0 would cancel all the probabilities out. So somebody tell me. Oh, sorry, 50.
It's 50.
Yep. Okay. Well, they want you to do a fraction. So first of all, I'm gonna cancel some things out to make it simple. How many times will 2 go into, well, 4 will go into 52. How many times?
12. No.
13.
Yeah. Isn't it 13?
Oh, it is.
13, yeah.
Should be
I think you meant 13.
Yeah, it's 13.
So this is 1 out of 13. And this is what? 1 over what? 25?
Mhm.
And 3, won't 3 go in like 17 times or something?
Yeah, 17.
So that's 1 out of 17. So now we got 1 out of 13 times 1 out of 17 times 1 out of 25. I'll do the top for you. Now you do the bottom. What's 13 times 17 times 25? I'm sorry, what?
5,525.
5,525. So that's the probability of success, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the probability of failure? We'll do that in blue. Then the probability of failure is the complement would be 5, 5, 2, 4 over 5, 5, 2 what? So let's take the probability. I'm going to go over here. I'm just doing this as an example. This ain't part of the question. So probability of failure is 5524, 5524 over 5525 divided by this, which that'd be 5525 over 1. So 5524 to 1. So somebody, let's say you put a $500 bet. Multiply 500 times 5524. What do you get? You wouldn't have to work for a few years, would you?
No.
But you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than you do, to pull 3 queens in a row. So we would say 1 over what? 5525? 1 over 5525. Next question. Use the method of your choice to determine the probability below. Randomly meeting either a woman or a Republican in a group of 60 Democratic men, 20 Republican men, 20 Democratic women, and 60 Republican. This is an additive law, and it's also, you need to put it in a what? Put it in a table. So draw a table. I would put men and women on the side, and I'd put Republican and Democrat on the top. So I'm going to put men and women. A lot of people say, well, why'd you put men first? It comes in the alphabet first, that's why. M's come before W, so be quiet. Okay, Democrat comes before Republican, so Democrat and Republican. All right, so now you just fill it in. 60 what? Democratic men. 20 Republican men, 20 Democratic women, and 60 Republican women. Now, what are they asking for?
Either women
Or, look at there. Ding, ding, ding. Let's take a handy dandy highlighter and let's highlight that book. Or, that means and, Hubert. Yep, I taught y'all that. Additive law. And additive law, or, equals additive law, which means the only thing you have to watch out for is the what? The overlap. So I'm going to take out my handy dandy highlighter, and I'm going to highlight this blue, a woman. And I'm going to highlight yellow, a Republican. So somebody add up, is it 100?
Yes, 100.
So probability of a woman or a Republican. And that's going to be equal to something over 100. So I'm going to take my blue pen, and I'm going to say 20 plus 60. And I'm going to take my yellow pen, and I'm going to put plus 20 plus 60. And then always subtract the what? Overlap, Hubert. Thank you, class.
Why did you put 2 60s?
Because this is blue. Where's blue cover? Blue has 20 plus 60.
Okay.
And the yellow has 20 plus 60. And you always subtract overlap.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yep. So you can either go through and cancel it, or you can do it. I don't care what you do. I'm just going to write it out because that's just the way I teach it. So 20 plus 60 is 80. Plus 60 is what? 80. I'm trying to do this for y'all, so don't fuss at me. Well, what's 80 plus 80? 100.
160.
Okay, 160. 160 minus 60 is 100. Over 100 is what? Wow. Never came up with that before. That's just the way the numbers crunch. So your probability is 1, which is very what? Very high. It's very odd. Make sure I didn't mess up anywhere. 60, 20, 20, 60. Okay. Very, very unusual it comes out would be 1. That's why I'm checking everything, make sure I didn't make a mistake. Because that's very unusual. All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when you're doing that, would you do just the numbers you have highlighted as the denominator, or the whole thing?
You add the women, 20 plus 60, plus 20 plus 60. And then you always subtract the what?
No, I'm talking about as a denominator.
Add them all together.
All of them?
Yeah.
The whole table. That's what's wrong. It's 100.
That's what's wrong. Well, it says 100 randomly selected voters.
That's the next question.
That's what's wrong. I knew something was wrong. It's not 100.
I was like, what?
60 plus 20 plus 20, that's 40. That's 160. That's better. Thank you. I knew that wasn't right. And don't you dare say, oh, that's what I thought. You know, don't dare say that, because you wait till after somebody says something. Just keep your mouth shut. So that'd be 160. That's right. I thought, for some reason, I thought it was 100. All right, so what, somebody take, let's see, 150 over 80, 5/8. Somebody check my math. Is it 5/8?
It is.
I knew that didn't feel, it didn't feel right, because you very rarely get a 1. Very rarely. I knew something wasn't right on that one. Okay, now this one. They already got the table for you. So don't mess this one up. I'll let y'all write it down. All right, so the first one says, what is the probability that you would select a woman? Well, how many women are there? 22, what is that?
57.
40, 51, 57. Somebody check, how many women are there? 57? So that'd be 57 over 100. So I take my handy dandy cursor and I do 57 over 100. Now the reason that's simple is because we didn't have an overlap. It's just one line. What is the probability of selecting a Republican? Well, what's 22 plus 21? What?
43 out of 100.
43 out of 100. What is the probability that you do not select an independent? Well, do not select an independent is the complement from selecting an independent. So the easiest way to do this one, instead of adding everything up, what is the independent? 11 over 100. What's the complement of 11 over 100? 89 over 100.
Yeah.
That's just being smart. Okay? Work less, be smarter. Work less. Okay? What is the probability that you select a male Democrat? Male Democrat would be 17 over what?
100.
17 over 100. And this one is probably going to be, what is this? Let's see. Someone who is not a male independent. Okay, how many male independents do we have? 5. So what's the complement of 5 to 90 to 100?
95.
Now that question, I should take that question off. It's just too.
So then you have to simplify it, don't you? So yeah,
I don't know. I don't think they're simplifiable because 100 is even. Well, you could, yeah. I'm not going to worry about that. Y'all worry about that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to worry about that when I'm going over a review. Okay. Next, if you look over your overall grade one day and it has been decreased from several days ago, what has happened? I will take B, and C, but that's not the answer. I mean, C is not the answer, but A is. But I'll take C. When is the last day of this semester? Do y'all come on Wednesday the 24th?
C.
Do y'all come on Wednesday the 24th?
What 24th?
What?
What 24th? The April 24th or May 20th?
Do y'all come on Wednesday, April 24th? Do y'all come to class that next day? No, you do not. Somebody will show up. See? Use the theoretical. Remember, theoretical is based on what? Mathematics. You don't have a deck of cards in front of you. So, what does it say? The outcome of the given event. The next president of the United States will be born on what?
Wednesday.
Okay, so what chance does he or she have to be born on a Wednesday?
Hey, Hubert.
1 out of 7, yes.
I have another class in 3 minutes.
Well, y'all should have said something. Thank you for saying something, Miss Riddle. I ain't kidding you. Thank you, Miss Riddle. If y'all don't start talking and interacting with me, we're going to be through before it's over with. I don't understand why y'all don't talk. Thank you, Miss Riddle. So that'd be 1 out of 7.
I'll email
For
you.
those who want to stay, I'm going to finish. For those who want to watch the test on the video, I'm going to go ahead and finish it. Okay. In your grade book, find that after grade, what should you choose? Overall grade. Evaluate the expression. Okay, 18 factorial. I'll take out my handy dandy calculator. I'm going to do this one and I'm going to quit because everybody's leaving. So. All right, so take out my handy dandy calculator. And go back to the question. As soon as I can go back, there we go. Pull the calculator in. Got to use your parentheses here, because if you don't, the calculator's going to get it wrong. So parentheses, 18 factorial, math, probability, and factorial. Enter. Close parentheses, divided by parentheses, 14 factorial, 14, second, or math, probability, and factorial, times what? 4 factorial. 4, math, probability, and, oops, didn't go over probability, and factorial, and close parentheses. And that should give you a number, 3060. I'll do a couple more. Determine the probability of the given opposite event. Opposite event is another word for what? Starts with a C. Complement. What is the probability that a 50% free throw shooter will miss her next free throw? 50%, 0.5. That one's too easy. Answer the question using the file. There's the, so that's how many letters? 1, 2,
I didn't catch the other one.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ma'am?
I didn't catch that one. 50%. What's the probability that 50% of the previous one you just did?
This one?
Yes.
You just turned that into a decimal.
Yeah, just decimal. This is 0.5.
Okay.
And what is the complement of 0.5 to a whole?
Okay.
0.5.
Okay.
Because it says enter as a decimal.
Complement.
So I just changed 50% into 0.5.
50%.
Okay, take how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 factorial. What do you get? This will be 9 factorial. So just put 9 and an exclamation mark.
300,000. 362,880.
362,880. Because there's how many letters? There's 9 letters in camouflage, whatever that is. And you take 9 and do factorial, and that's how many you got. Next.
It's confusing.
What does Hubert not entertain? I do not entertain extra points because of that. Yeah. There are 12 members of a board. This is a permutation. If you must elect a chairperson, a secretary, and a treasurer, that's 3. So that's going to be 12 permutation 3. B. Let me put 12 permutation 3. Did you say B?
Mm-hmm.
Next. In a certain lottery, 4 different numbers between 1 and 8, so that'd be 4 combination 8. These are the winning numbers. How many different selections are possible? Assume the order. Okay, now this is a good question because it says what is the possible outcomes. It does not say the chances of winning. So what is it? This will be, let me put what we got to do. Hold on a second.
It would be 8 combination 4, right?
Be 8 combination of 4. 8 combination of 4. I'm doing this for whoever has questions and going to watch the video. Okay, so that's going to be what? What's 8 combination 4?
It's 70.
70? Okay. Next. A baseball manager has 11 players with the same ability. How many 9-player? We did this one in class. This one is 11 combination 9. 11, let me put it right here. 11 combination 9. And what's the answer?
D.
D is in Delta.
Mm-hmm.
55?
Mm-hmm.
I figured it'd be higher than that. Okay. Next. And that one is pretty simple. The trifecta, I told you about this one. The trifecta at most racetracks consists of selecting the first, second, and third place, and this is also in the videos for the Math 120. Third place finishers in a particular race. First, second, and third place. So that means permutation. So that means we're going to take some kind of permutation with how many? 3, because first, second, and third place. First, second, and third place. That's order. Okay? If there are 11 entries, 11, there you go, 11 permutation 3. How many tickets?
990.
990. I like the multiple choice ones better. 990. Oops. Okay, next one. When does your homework terminate? Duh.
I like that you put I cannot read on there.
Yeah. If you miss a question on a test and you believe it is correct, what should you do? Throw a temper tantrum. What should a student do if something happens and they are out of class? Wait until after grade turn-in before you say something. If you have incomplete assignments and Hubert puts a 0, what will the 0 do to your grade? Oh, I didn't know 0 would decrease my grade. Only one that equals 100. If a student does not complete a homework assignment, what grade will be recorded? That's why I have 2 questions pertaining to that. All right, this one. Determine whether the following individual events are independent, which means with replacement, or dependent. Randomly select a 4-person committee. Remember, these are bodies. So bodies cannot be what? They cannot be, but it's also say a 4-person committee. So this is a combination. Oh, no, wait a minute. Of 18 men and 13 women. Okay. So first of all, get your total. What's the total?
Is it
18 plus 13 is what?
That is 41.
41 or 31?
31. I'm sorry.
So 31 is your denominator.
Yeah, it's okay.
Now it says a 4-person committee consisting entirely of what? Women, Hubert. Yes, women. So there's 13 women, so that's 13. Can I replace the woman after I pick her?
No.
No. Bodies cannot be picked over again. So that'd be 12 over what? 30 times 11 over 29. How many women we picking? 4-person committee, so one more. 10 times what?
28.
10 over 28.
I hope they ask for a decimal. Yes, hallelujah. All right, we know it's dependent. Why is it dependent? Because you can't pick a body twice. So it's dependent. So that means without replacement, because once you pick Jane, you can't pick Jane again because Jane is out of the group. So now multiply all that together and give me 4 decimal places. Now, the only thing here, you've got to make sure that you put parentheses in your calculator around these, okay? If you don't put parentheses, the calculator's going to screw it up. So you got to put parentheses, 13 over 31 times 12 over 30 times 11 over 29 times 10 over 28. And if you don't put those parentheses, you're going to get it wrong. What is the answer? Got it yet?
But there's no way we can reduce before.
You can reduce it all you want to, but you still got to calculate it in your calculator. You can reduce it if you want to, yes. But on the multiplicative law, you might as well just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
You can reduce if you want to, yes.
Okay. 0.0227.
Okay, I think I put a 0. Let me check. Did I not put a point there? Okay. All right, next one. A musician plans to perform 5 selections for a concert. He can choose from 8. Which one's the biggest number? N. Yeah, 8. So this one, they tried to trick you. So 8 combination, well, that's supposed to be an 8, of 5. 8 combination of 5. There we go. And what is 8 combination of 5? 56. And that's it. So besides rounding, let's see how bad we did. I did 31 complete. Why didn't I answer one of them? Which one did I not answer? 32.
Go to a different question and come back. There it goes.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm going to submit a test. I got a 90. So let's see did I get question 3 right? Yes, question 3 I did get right.
We missed 32 though, so that's what I'm trying to figure out.
What's 30? Let's go with number 7 first. What did we do wrong with number 7? Okay, something is wrong there. What is DJ? How many different ways can the DJ arrange the first 5 songs? Evidently, they won't in order. That's the trick question, though. Do 21 permutation 5. What you get? I don't agree with that because it doesn't say. It doesn't say a certain order. It just says the first 5 songs. That I disagree with that question, but do permutation, and hopefully the people watching it that'll be a permutation. So that'd be 21 permutation 5. And I don't agree with that because just because it says the first 5 songs, that doesn't mean order. Order means. Oh, I guess it does. Yeah, it does. Same thing as the trifecta, the first 3 horses. So I'm wrong. I was wrong on that one. The question is okay. I just didn't catch it. First 5 songs. Right? First 5 is also equal to first 3 horses. Remember that. Okay? That's the way you need to remember it. First 3 horses is the same thing. The way it's worded just messed me up. All right, what next? Question 10. I got partially wrong because I didn't simplify. I didn't reduce the fractions. Mr. B at Oconee brought that up, remember? And I said, I don't care about that. So, see, there's some you can reduce. Or this one. No, wait a minute. It says, what is the probability that you select someone who is not a male independent? Okay, what's the male independent? 5 out of 100, right? I don't know where they're getting 20 from. Oh, 95 out of 100 reduces. That's why I got it wrong. Reduce it. It's the same number. It's just reduced. So that's why I told Mr. B, I'm not worried about that. Y'all reduce it. So that one, I only missed one so far. Number 7, I did get that one wrong. Number 22. 22, starting lineups, I guess that's order. Check to see if 11 permutation of 9. That's the, I guess I'm just illiterate. 11 permutation of 9. See, I'm used to order meaning first, second, and third. I'm used to that. But it's saying, is that the right answer? 19? Okay. I guess starting lineups, I guess that means order. My bad. I missed 2.
Permutation meant that order didn't matter.
No, combination is order. We did combination. Remember me saying, I think that's kind of low?
Yeah.
That's why, because usually that question is like huge. So I should have followed up on that. Okay, I missed 2. Let's see what the last one is. We missed the last one?
Mm-hmm. Probably the same reason.
Yeah, it says 8 different selections. I'm playing 5 selections. But it doesn't say, now I disagree with that one. Where does it say order here? Unless he's using the word arrange. I don't see anything order. It doesn't say the first 5, does it?
Mm-mm.
I disagree with that one. I own up to the other 2. But I disagree with this one. But I'll just tell y'all right now, you get this question, do permutation. I don't know why. 8 permutation 5. And that'll give you the... But I don't agree with this one. I think it's supposed to read, a musician plans to perform his first 5 selections. Now, if it said first 5 selections, then it would be order, but I don't know. That's a little bit weak. So make sure you do permutations when you do the musician. Okay? All right, so y'all good. Now y'all can go home and watch this video and go over the test again before you take it. All right? Y'all have a good day.
You too. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Send in questions. You got one more day to send in questions, both of y'all.
Okay.